booming industry brought about the commodification of news and information. Media houses, in an attempt to attract advertisers, began packaging content like commercial products to increase viewership and readership. This shift blurred the line between journalism as a public service and journalism as business or profit making intent. Once a profession rooted in public interest, journalism increasingly began serving commercial interests. As a result, the public good orientation of journalism or the public good perception of journalism gave way to market driven motives. Meanwhile, demographic changes have also shaped media consumption. According to the Economic Survey 2024, 65% of India's population is under the age of 35. The availability of affordable smartphones and low cost internet has dramatically increased mobile penetration, especially in rural India. Today, around 700 million Indians own smartphones, a number that continues to rise according to World Economic Forum 2024. So media consumption patterns have changed significantly, particularly in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. A growing number of Indians now rely on social media for information. So, the Indian Digital News report by Reuters Institute in 2019 revealed that online platforms are the primary source of news for people under 35. Of these, 28% access news via social media, while only 16% still rely on traditional print or broadcast media. This shift indicates a disconnect between youth audience and the traditional media in terms of both content and format. Despite this digital transformation, traditional media remains a significant part of India's media landscape. According to the Register of Newspapers in India, RNI, there are 1,46,045 registered print publication in the country as of 2022. The Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, reports that around 922 television channels licensed are licensed to operate from Indian territory, along with 388 private FM radio stations, according to TRAI 2024 report. So these vast and growing numbers highlight the need for a deeper study of the evolution and transformation of media in India. From being a mission during the freedom struggle to becoming a business in the liberalized economy, journalism's journey reflects the broader shifts in Indian society, governance, technology, and youth engagement. So, this is the time when the concept of fifth estate has emerged in India. In 2024, India witnessed the continued ascent of the fifth estate, driven by widespread internet penetration. Over 750 million Indians, accounting for more than half of the population, now use the internet. Of these, around 460 million are active on social media, as noted by Kemp in his Digital 2024 report. The fifth estate refers to the growing use of internet powered information and communication technologies by citizens and professions, offering an alternative to traditional mainstream media. Social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and WhatsApp have emerged as major sources of information and public discourse. In many cases, the fifth estate influences the fourth estate, with mainstream broadcast, mainly media increasingly devoting space to issues first brought to light by online platforms. What distinguishes the fifth estate is its public engagement, exploration of unreported themes or topics or news reports, and interactive two-way communication. These traits often lacking in traditional news outlets. As Durton argues, the fifth estate signifies a fundamental shift of communicative power from institutions to individuals and decentralized networks. When used ethically and effectively, it can serve the greater public interest. Nick Cernick observes that online platforms empower users with tools and applications to create content, offer services, and build independent marketplaces. Unlike mainstream media, often criticized for being tools of political propaganda, the Fifth Estate can offer a centrist perspective, an impartial perspective, focusing on accuracy and truth, free from any ideological bias. A study titled Matter of Fact, commissioned by Oxford University Press in 2022, found that 52% of Indians turn to social media for factual information. Similarly, the Internet and Mobile Association of India reported in 2023 that 65% of India's active Internet users consume news through apps and social media, with YouTube being a dominant platform. Political parties too have embraced the power of Fifth Estate. The 2014 general elections were dubbed as the Twitter elections, and 2019 polls were known as WhatsApp elections. By 2024, election campaigns incorporated platforms like YouTube and short video formats as documented in a study by Oxford University. According to Ranganathan, media scholar, the corporatized nature of Indian mainstream media during the 2014 elections led political parties, civil society, and voters to migrate to new media platforms. However, the growing influence of the Fifth Estate also brings concerns, particularly around the spread of misinformation. Rajvanshi in 2024 highlighted how social media has been used to disseminate disinformation, especially since the BJP came to power in 2014. The Fifth Estate has also become a voice for the marginalized in a media environment where the rural poor and socially disadvantaged communities are often overlooked by the mainstream media outlets. Digital platforms have emerged as a critical alternative. So, the alternative media aims to serve the underrepresented communities, their aspirations, their demands, and thus drive positive social change. So, examples of this transformation are abundant. Chambal Media's Khabar Lahariya reports on Dalit issues from rural heartlands. The Mukh Nayak, an online multimedia platform, covers citizen concerns typically ignored by traditional media. People's Archive of Rural India documents rural livelihoods and stories through multimedia content. Bastar Talkies, a YouTube channel, focuses on tribal issues in conflict zones like Chhattisgarh. Munga Bay, India, specializes in environment or environmental journalism. Kuman Bhagirath Jetuvai operates a multimedia platform focused on LGBTQ issues. The rise of independent journalism on digital platforms is also evident in the migration of mainstream journalists to YouTube, like Raksha Kumar in 2024 noted that several prominent anchors left their networks to launch independent YouTube channels, seeking freedom from editorial censorship and corporate praises. The South Asia Press Freedom Report 2023-24 confirms this trend, observing that more journalists are embracing the fifth estate to continue practicing independent journalism. These emerging platforms not only challenge governmental narratives but are also rapidly gaining public trust and viewership, signaling a significant transformation in the Indian media landscape. Now, I'll talk about the journalists who are at risk in India's changing media landscape. Journalists across India are facing growing threats for simply doing their jobs. According to the Committee to Protect Journalists 2021 report was among the deadliest years for Indian journalists in the past decade, with 6 reporters killed between 2021 and 2022. In 2022, India ranked 150th out of 180 countries on the Press Freedom Index, compiled by Reporters Without Borders. One of the key reasons cited for this alarming decline in press freedom was the increasing violence against journalists. Amid this hostile environment, many journalists are turning to social media and independent digital platforms to share their reporting directly with the public, bypassing all these traditional media organizations' rules and regulations and the supervising authorities. While this shift offers a greater autonomy and allows them to build loyal audiences, it also exposes them to heightened risk as they lack the institutional protections typically afforded by established or mainstream media outlets. One such tragic example was journalist Shubhash Kumar Mahato, who was shot dead in Bihar on May 20, reportedly due to his reporting on local liquor mafias. Mahato frequently published his stories on a hyperlocal platform called Public App, operating independently without the backing of major news organizations. So, the lack of institutional support is a major barrier in this field. Having a media brand backing the journalists makes a big difference. A freelance journalist named Anand Datta, based in Jharkhand, once commented. So, without an organization behind you, the journalists don't even have a valid press ID, press card to prove their credential. Independent journalists often find themselves isolated in the moments of crisis. So, there are many cases where young reporters faced serious backlash from authorities after publishing their investigative reports on local contractors constructing a school or any other issues, local issues, with no legal or editorial support. The independent or freelance journalists in India had no choice but to abandon the story. So, working as an unaffiliated journalist often means walking a tightrope. According to a Delhi based journalist, Vikas Kumar, freelancers are sometimes forced to cooperate with authorities. It is not as simple as it looks. They have to engage with the people. Open conflict is too risky, he explained. Ahili Moitra, an award winning journalist, an academic who had spent years reporting in Nagaland, echoed similar concerns. So, what she said, I quote, governance is riddled with corruption, and anyone trying to uncover the truth is often met with direct threats. In an increasingly dangerous environment, the rise of independent journalism reflects both a shift in how news is delivered and a pressing need for stronger protections and support systems for those who report from the front lines as freelance journalists. Hence, to conclude, I must say that independent journalism and freelance journalism is at stake in a democratic country like India. However, both can go hand in hand and thrive in the digital media landscape if some amount of protection and personal security is assured. As media, as fourth estate or fifth estate, the core principle of media should not be compromised. Thank you very much.